6 months later.
He pulled my daughter between his legs.
The pain is still fresh.
Torture.
Tonight, our iteam exclusive continues as more parents of the 88 little Springboro girls who prosecutors say their gym teacher had inappropriate contact with when they were first graders speak out.
No transparency, lack of communication, inconsistent.
Telling the I-Team they're angry and concerned the school districts made no policy changes following sexual abuse allegations. The criminal case against former Clear Creek Elementary gym teacher Austin Hopkins is moving forward. Warren County prosecutors say Hopkins sexually abused dozens of first-grade girls. News Center 7 broke this story back in March, and I was the first reporter to interview a victim's parents. Tonight, we continue our exclusive I-Team investigation as we speak with 5 families for the first time. They've been angry for months over how the school handled this case. Also exclusive tonight, the district spokesperson is defending its actions. 88 girls were involved. Some have left the district. Most have just started second grade. It's been a gut-wrenching process for these parents who can't get the images out of their minds of their girls with Hopkins captured by classroom surveillance video.
Inappropriately touching our daughters where his hand shouldn't be.
Our daughter was sitting with him on the bleachers with his hand around her waist.
He ran his hands over my daughter's body.
And then started rubbing her bottom. But that was with his right hand. And then with his left hand, he went in between her legs.
Rubbed himself on her, and as he did that, he rubbed her belly, nuzzled her neck.
And then they went off camera together. And I'll never know what happened because there's no cameras in his office. And then they came back out together.
She became real fidgety. So he put her down and went on to the next.
These 6 parents say their daughter's gym teacher, Austin Hopkins, sexually abused one first-grade girl after another.
Yeah. We've been living with this for 6 months.
From the beginning, how has the school responded here?
Crickets. No response. Or very little. We've been met with resistance at every turn.
And at the turn of the school year,
my daughter didn't want to go back to school.
The now second graders are anxious.
She has accidents at school. She just, she acts different with my husband.
She's just not the same little girl that she was before.
And their parents are scared.
We were dreading the day we had to send our kids back to school.
The group told the I-Team since first learning of the alleged abuse back in March,
false promises.
They have not felt supported by school district leaders they trusted.
Do you think that the school right now is trying to protect itself more than it's trying to protect your daughters?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I went to the district to share the group's complaint.
Would you say that the district has been transparent in this case?
I would say we've been absolutely transparent.
The school's communications coordinator, Scott Marshall, says these letters to parents show the district has been as supportive as it can while respecting the ongoing court case, emphasizing again when they found out about the accusations against Hopkins, he was removed from the building immediately. He later resigned.
As a school district, you spend a lot of time and a lot of resources trying to prevent a threat from the outside coming in. And in this particular instance, there was a threat inside the building.
You have 88 victims, and they're saying, well, there's nothing we can do about that, so let's just brush this under the carpet and hope it goes away.
These parents feel getting rid of Hopkins was a first step, but now the school must make policy changes, and that's what Marshall says the district is doing by sending parents and students a new survey.
But it's designed so that the family can sit down together and fill it out.
Twice a year.
That if a student brings up a concern and a family member hears it, they can immediately alert the school.
A new curriculum this school year was started in grades K through 5 to educate and empower kids and adults with information and strategies to prevent and recognize all types of abuse. The group of parents wasn't aware of the new changes.
From my perspective, we haven't seen any significant change.
They wonder why no one was monitoring the surveillance video Warren County prosecutors say captured the abuse for 3 months.
We believe there was evidence not just of inappropriate contact, but also potential criminal conduct.
Parents wish administrators watched the first-year teacher more closely.
Some supervision would be appropriate. Adhering to the policies where there are in-class visits and reviews and drop-in visits.
The iteam obtained Hopkins performance evaluations. In them, we found no documentation of drop-in visits, although the district says they did occur.
Let's look at the hiring practices that allowed this predator to get into the school to start with.
The parent's attorney believes Hopkins' hiring violated Springborough's internal employment policy. In part, it says the superintendent should recommend the best qualified person, regardless of the relationship to present employees or members of the board. Hopkins' mother is a teacher in the district, his grandfather a former principal.
Just because they have family in the district doesn't mean they're going to get the job. He had to interview just like anybody else in front of the exact same people. They made a decision on that based on the interview and based on their scoring system, and he got the job as a result of that.
Now, even though Hopkins is on house arrest awaiting trial, these mothers and fathers don't feel safe.
I can't point to anything the district has done to reassure us that the situation that allowed this horrible criminal activity to be conducted has been changed or addressed in any significant fashion.
It just hurts, and it's just like on a deep level, emotionally and personally, to not have that support when you are trusting your children daily in their hands.
What do you want to see the school do more of? Or do better?
Communicate, be transparent, be open, actually show that they care. You know, I mean, whether they agree or disagree with what occurred, we're all in pain, we're all hurting. And, you know, to simply care for someone can be extended, and we've not seen any of that.
We've been carrying this burden for 6 months since the first day the detectives called and said, "Come watch your daughter."
The 6 parents you just heard from represent 5 girls. Prosecutors say Hopkins had physical contact with 88 girls. However, only 28 are connected to the case's 36 criminal indictments. That's because under Ohio law, the sexual contact seen on video has to show sexual arousal or gratification. The group I spoke with consisted of both parents of the 28 and those whose daughters are not tied to charges. But all parents feel no matter what the charges say, all their daughters were equally victimized. Hopkins has pleaded not guilty.